Today, guys, we are going to be talking about some tips that all of us can probably use when we go out to do our metal detecting hunts. And these are things that I've found to be helpful, and I hope they'll be helpful for you. So with that being said, let's look at some great tips for your next metal detecting adventure. So tip number one, always bring an extra metal detector if you have one. Again, you just never know when yours might break or it might die, and it's always great to have a backup, and you can pull that backup out and use it so you don't have to stop your hunt. I have had this happen to me before, and I've had to use other people's detectors because I didn't have an extra one. So again, always, if you have that opportunity, bring an extra metal detector. Tip number two, do not walk away from an iffy signal. If a signal is, got you questioning, investigate that signal thoroughly. You can try the wiggle method. You can rotate it rotate around at 360 degrees. And if that target remains constant, then that's going to probably tell you that it is a good target. If it can remain consistent with the numbers and you can move around it and it still stays the same, more than likely that's a good target. Don't walk away from it. Investigate it and check it out thoroughly, because more than likely it's something really, really good. Tip number three, which sort of relates to tip number one, bring an extra metal detector, but also bring an extra pack of batteries or a power bank in case your metal detector dies. So that way you can continue your hunt. Carrying that power bank, you can bring your charging cable with you. You can plug your metal detector in, maybe get a little bit of juice or enough juice to get you through the rest of your hunt. Also, too, in case you have wireless headphones or your video, you can have this power bank to help charge up any of those things too, your camera or your headphones. So again, extra batteries or power bank, extra batteries in case you have AA batteries that you use for your metal detector. That would be great to have those extra batteries on hand so you don't miss out on the action. So again, tip number three, bring some batteries or bring a power bank so you can keep going even when your metal detector or your headphones or your camera or any of that other stuff that you bring with you dies. Tip number four, always remember that there is no such thing as a hunted outside. I cannot tell you how many times I have been to places and the owner tells me, look, you're probably not going to find anything because this site has been hunted. And I sort of laugh when I hear someone say that, because I always know that that's usually a good thing, because there was probably a lot of stuff there and they didn't get it all, especially if they stayed for any lengthy period of time. So again, there's never a such thing as a hunted out site. And you got to remember that technology has come a long way over the last 15 to 20 years. Some of the metal detectors they were using 20 years ago are just not the same as the ones that we're using now. And these newer detectors can help sniff out some things that some other metal detectors from that period might have missed. So remember, there's never such thing as a hunted out site. Let's look at tip number five. And this is another one too that I strongly suggest, is when you dig a target out, even if you find the target, always swing back over the hole, because you never know if there was something else in with that target. I've had targets that I've dug and I've picked it out and then covered the hole back up, and then somebody's come behind me and they go, hey, did you just dig this hole? And I'll say yes. And then they end up pulling out a target that was in the hole. So there was more than one target. I've also seen where you've had a nail mixed in with the target, and you think that was the nail that was ringing up, and then you swing back over it and there's the target in there. The nail might have been masking the target. So again, always rescan and re-dig if you find that you missed something. Definitely a good thing to do, because you never know. There could be more than one target in there, or it could be a target that's being hidden by another piece of iron or another target. Tip number 6, hunt after a rain, because that wet soil will make the soil, make those targets sing. It'll make those targets stand out. It gives them a little more conductivity. And so when you swing over them, you can actually get a little bit deeper in some cases, and those targets are going to sound crisp and loud, especially when the ground is wet. So again, go out and hunt after a rainstorm. Tip number 7, look for clues. These things can be something obvious like what I have pictured here, blue feather dish, colonial brick, any of that stuff you see laying on the ground is definitely a good indicator that this is probably a site that you need to investigate. And then once you start swinging over it and you hear some iron, then you know that you are on a good site, and you need to start slowing down and checking that site out thoroughly. But again, look for clues, especially the ones on the ground, such as brick or dish. Those are always good indicators to tell you that there is a target maybe hiding in there. And then the final tip, tip number 8, create a test garden. These test gardens can be really valuable in helping you identify targets out in the wild. You can listen to those targets and what they sound like on your machine. You can test them with iron mixed in. You can pick those specific targets that you know that you're going to be looking for. Do a test garden, because that test garden is going to give you valuable information that you can possibly take with you to the field. Again, I hear this argument all the time that, the test garden is not the same conditions, and that's true, but it's going to give you at least some idea when you get out to the field of knowing what those targets are underneath your feet. So again, a good test garden can go a long way into helping you find the things that you are looking for. Okay, those are my 8 tips, and we're going to try to do some more later on, but these are the ones that I thought that could be helpful for some people, especially people that are just beginning, maybe for some people that have been hunting for a while. Maybe they didn't think about some of these things, but these are the 8 that I picked out to start off with, and we'll do some more tips later on. Again, if you haven't already, please like and subscribe to the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. And I hope you guys are having a fantastic day, and I will catch you on the next adventure. Take care.